Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to our fifth lecture of this course, Grammatical Rules and Systems. In this lecture we will continue our discussion of verbal groups, which we started in lecture 4. So verbal groups can be of 5 types. So we will see the different types of verbal groups here. Type 1 is modal plus the infinitive. You remember the modal auxiliaries, we mentioned them previously. For example, can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might. Okay, these are all modals plus the infinitive, and in this case it is the bare infinitive. If you remember in the previous lecture we mentioned we have an infinitive with 2 and an infinitive without 2. The infinitive without 2 is called the bare infinitive. So the first type, modal plus infinitive, we have 2 examples here: could see and will come. So could is a modal, see is a bare infinitive. So here we have a modal plus an infinitive. Will come, will is a modal, come is an infinitive. So we have a modal plus infinitive. So this is the first type. The first type of verbal groups are verbal groups like could see and will come. Type 2, have plus the past participle. Okay, so have or has or had, of course, and the past participle. So for example, have telephoned. Telephoned is a past participle of telephone. We just add ed because it is a regular verb. Begun is irregular. Okay, it is the past participle of begin. So has begun. Has begun is also an example of this type. Okay, so have or has or had plus the past participle. Of course it's different depending on whether the verb is regular or irregular. So type 2 as example of type 2 are have telephoned and has begun. Type 3, be plus the present participle. We mentioned the present participle previously as an example of non-finite verbs. So the present participle is the verb plus ing. Okay, so we have the verb to be, which is finite, and the present participle, which is non-finite. Okay, so for example, are coming, verb to be, of course, can be is, am, are, was, or were. Okay, in this case, so are and then the verb and then ing. So are coming. Were, which is be, and then the verb and then ing. So were waiting. Alright, so this is the third type. So we have 2 examples of the third type: are coming and were waiting. Type 4 is verb to be plus the past participle. So for example, is grown and was broken. Is grown and was broken. Here we have verb to be is, am, are, was, or were. Okay, in this case we have is and grown. Is and then grown is the past participle. Was is the verb to be, and then broken is the past participle. So be plus past participle. Is grown and was broken are examples of type 4. Type 5, do plus the infinitive. So we can either have do, does, or did. Okay, so these 3 verbs, they are finite. They change according to tense, person, and number, if you remember from our discussion in the last lecture, and they come with the infinitive. For example, did not like. So we have did and like. Like is a bare infinitive as well. Okay, so we can have the bare infinitive after modals, and we can have the bare infinitive after do. Okay, so did like is do plus the infinitive. Okay, like is a bare infinitive. Did you know? Did know is do plus the infinitive. So did, the past form of do, and then know, which is the bare infinitive form of know. Okay, so did like and did know in these cases. Did not like, did you know. These are examples of type 5 verbal groups. So just a quick reminder: type 1 modal and then infinitive, type 2 have and a past participle, type 3 be and a present participle, type 4 be and a past participle, and type 5 do and infinitive. The first 4 types, type 1, type 2, 3 and 4, can be combined. So we can combine them together to form more complex verbal groups. Okay, so they are complex verbal groups, but we can make them more complex by combining them together. So for example, we can combine type 1, which is modal plus infinitive, with type 2, which is have plus past participle. So for example, Ahmed will have finished that book by Friday. So will have finished is type 2 combined with type 1 combined with type 2. So will plus the infinitive have. So have in this case is an infinitive. It doesn't become affected if we change the number, if we change the tense, and if we change the person. Have doesn't change. It becomes infinitive, non-finite. So we'll have, this is the first type, type 1, and then have finished, which is type 2. Have plus the past participle. So will have finished is a combination of type 1 and type 2. The next example, he has been learning English for 4 years. This is a combination of type 2 and type 3. Has been learning. So the type 2 is have or has or had. So in this case we have has plus the past participle been, which is the past participle form of the verb to be. So be, the past participle of be is been. So here we have we have and the past participle type 2, and then we have type 3, which is verb to be plus the present participle. So been, this is the verb to be, and the present participle learning, verb plus ing. So as you see here, we have type 2, type 3. Okay, we have has, we have the past participle of been, and then we have the verb to be plus the present participle of learning. So this is a combination of type 2 and 3. We can also combine 3 types, as in this example. He will have been learning English for 5 years by next October. So this is a combination of type 1, 2 and 3. So first we have type 1, which is the modal will plus the past part, the infinitive have. Okay, so modal plus infinitive will have. This is the first type, type 1. And then we have plus the past participle, in this case been, which is the past participle of the verb to be. So have been, this is type 2, have plus the past participle. And then we have the third type, which is verb to be plus the present participle. So in this case been is a form of the verb to be, and it is in the past participle because we have before it, and learning is the present participle. It came after the verb to be to form type 3 verbal groups. Okay, so we have 3 groups here, or 3 types: will, have, been, learning, type 1, type 2 and type 3 combined together into one complex verbal group. The next example, the president could be seen by everyone. Okay, so here we have type 1 and type 4. Alright, so could, we have the modal, be, we have the infinitive form, okay, of the verb to be. Be doesn't change, it is infinitive, it is the bare infinitive as well, and it doesn't come with 2, so it is the bare infinitive. And then we have type 4, which is the verb to be plus the past participle. So be seen, in this example, seen is the past participle of see. Okay, so type 1 and type 4. The next example, he is being called now. Okay, he is being called now. type 3 and 4 combined together. So he is and being, type 3, which is the verb to be plus the present participle. Verb to be is here, okay, and the present participle, which is the verb plus ing, be plus ing, being. So we have type 3, and then verb to be plus the past participle. Verb to be is realized as being in this case because it has is before it. So we have verb to be, being, and then cold, okay, cold, which is the past participle of cold. Okay, so we have the verb to be, the present participle of being, okay, of be, the verb to be here, so being, and then we have the past participle. Okay, so we combined type 3 and type 4 together. Okay, all such groups, all these combinations that we did are formed in the order 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we don't bring 2 before 1. We don't bring type 3 before 2. Okay, we don't bring type 4 before 1, and so on. So they must be in order. Okay, either type 1 plus type 2, or type 1 plus type 2 plus type 3. Okay, or type 1 plus type 4, or type 2 plus type 4. So these are the accepted order of combinations. So the combination must be 1, 2, 3, 4 as follows. So 1, we said the modal, plus the infinitive, which is have, and have plus the past participle, which is the second type, type 2. So have plus the past participle. And then we have the third type, type 3, which is verb to be plus the present participle. And then type 4, which is be plus the past participle. So if you want to combine them, as we did in the previous examples, we must follow this order: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? We have a note here. So note 1, the meaning of the verbal group is contained in the last word. So the last word has the meaning. So what do we mean, or what is the verbal group trying to say? Okay? We call this that lexical meaning. Okay? So he has been learning. Has been don't have any meaning here. So they are just functional. Okay? So has and been, they do a function. They do a job in this sentence, a grammatical function. Okay? So this is their job. Learning, okay, conveys meaning. It has lexical meaning. So he has been learning English for 4 years. We're talking about someone learning. Okay, someone learning for a period of time. So this is the meaning of the verbal group in this sentence is contained in the last word, learning. Okay, so the meaning of the verbal group is taken from the last word. Alright? The second note, note 2, only the first word of a verbal group is affected by person, number, and tense. Okay, so only the first word of the verbal group is finite. Okay, you remember finite verbs are affected by person, number, and tense. So if we have a verbal group, only the first verb in it is finite. So the first word is what makes the group finite. So the first word, or the first verb in a verbal group is what makes the whole group finite. So for example, he has been learning. Has is a finite verb, and it is what makes the whole group finite. So we have a finite verbal group thanks to the first word, the first verb here, has. Okay, I have been learning. You notice only have changed here. So in the first example, he has. When we change the person to I, only has changed. It became have. Okay, been stayed the same. Learning stayed the same, because both of those are non-finite. Okay, been is the past participle, and you remember the past participle is one of the forms of non-finite verbs, and learning is the present participle, and if you remember, the present participle is one of the forms of non-finite verbs. So only the first verb has is finite. So the same cases in the third example as well. They have been learning, only have changed here. So he has, they have. Been and learning didn't change. Okay, so the first verb here is what makes the whole verbal group finite. So we can say has been learning is a finite verbal group thanks to the finite verb has, which is the first verb that comes in the verbal group. Okay, so again, only the first word of a verbal group is affected by person, so number and tense, and it is what makes the group finite. Let's do this quick exercise. Choose the correct order for each verbal group. So we have 3 verbal groups, and we have 4 choices for each one. Some of these are not ordered correctly. As you remember, we follow the order 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so 1 is a modal. Okay, as modal plus the infinitive. So let's look. Is there a modal in these 4 choices? Yes, we have a modal. So we need to start with the modal. So this makes A and D not correct. Okay, as you remember, we start with 1. So if we have a modal auxiliary like could or will or can or should or whatever, any modal, if you have a modal in the choices, it must come first according to the order we discussed earlier. So the only choices acceptable so far are B and C. Okay, B and C. Then we have and seen, which is seen is the past participle, and have. As you remember, we said that have comes before the past participle. So in this case, the correct choice is could have seen. The modal auxiliary plus the infinitive have, and then have seen, which is have plus the past participle. Okay, so C is the correct answer. We have 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2. Okay, type 1 plus type 2. Number 2, have should been doing, doing should have been should doing, should have been doing. So first, as we said, we see, do we have a modal? Because it is type 1. So if we have a modal, it must come first, and the easiest choice is of course D. Okay, the modal comes first, so it saves you all the trouble of looking through all of those and trying to find out which order is the best one, because there is only one choice with should at the beginning. So only one choice, D, with should at the beginning. So you see, you can just identify the correct order quickly in these cases if we know that we should start first with the modal, and then we move on to the other types. So D is the correct answer. Should have been doing. The modal comes first. So of course should plus have, so modal plus infinitive, have been, which is have plus the past participle, and then been doing, which is the verb to be plus the present participle, which is the verb plus ing. So been doing. Okay, they follow the correct order that we discussed earlier. Number 3, has been studying, studying has been studying has, studying been has. Okay, so do we have a modal? No, we don't have a modal here. Okay, so we move on to type 2, which is has plus the past participle. So do we have has in this case, or have or had? And yes, we do have has and had. We do have has in this case, which is in number 1 here. Has been studying. So type 2 has plus the past participle. So has must come first. And in this case, B is not correct, C is not correct, and D is not correct. So has, we begin with the with have plus the past participle. So has plus been. Been is the past participle of the verb to be, and then verb to be plus the present participle. So be plus the present participle, studying, and this is the correct order as we discussed earlier. Now we will look at each verbal group type. Okay, so we mentioned them briefly, type 1, type 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we will look at each one of them in a bit of detail. So we will start with type 1, which is the modal plus the infinitive. The main verb which follows a modal auxiliary will always be in the bare infinitive. Okay, and it doesn't have to. So the bare infinitive without to. So if we have the modal auxiliary and then we have the main verb, the main verb will always be bare. Okay, no to added to it. So you don't say can to see, you say can see or could see. All right, so the main verb is bare. Okay, it is bare infinitive. The second point, modals are not affected by person and number, and this is important. Okay, so we said that finite verbs are affected by person and number, but modal auxiliaries, okay, are not affected by person and number, and yet they are considered finite. Okay, they are considered finite. They are a special case. So in this special case, modal auxiliaries are not affected by person and number. So in this example, he must know how to speak English and they must know how to speak English. Nothing changes in both cases, even though we change the number and we change the person. So he is third person singular, and the verbal group is must know, and they is third person plural, it is plural, and still the verbal group is must know. Okay, so must know doesn't change because of person, number, or tense. Okay, so in most cases modal auxiliaries don't convey tense. Okay, but there are certain exceptions. So all verbal groups beginning with a modal are finite. All verbal groups beginning with a modal are finite. So they don't need to change according to number or person, but they are still considered finite. Okay, so let's move on to the next type. Type 2, have plus the past participle. This type is an expression of the perfect aspect. If you remember, you studied in the previous course the perfect aspect, the progressive aspect. So for example, the present perfect, the past perfect, and the perfect aspect is formed by having have with the past participle, as we have in this type, type 2. Have is used as a helping verb, okay, or an auxiliary verb. So the helping verb have is finite. We mentioned this earlier. It changes according to person, number, and tense. So we have this example. He has read, and we have read. You notice have changes according to person and number. The students had already gathered in class. It changed because of tense here. So here it is in the past, so we used had. So this helping verb changes according to tense. So it is tense, number, and person. So it is a finite verb. Okay. So the first example, he has read the book already. This is called the present perfect tense. You studied this in the previous course. We have read the book already, also the present perfect tense. The students had already gathered in class when the teacher entered. This is the past perfect tense. Okay, so the use of this type is to convey the perfect aspect. Okay, so it is an expression of the perfect aspect, have plus the past participle. Now we move on to type 3, which is verb to be plus the present participle. This type is an expression of the progressive aspect. Okay, so have plus the past participle is an expression of the perfect aspect. Be plus the present participle is an expression of the progressive aspect. So for example, the present progressive and the past progressive, and so on. So be is used also as a helping verb. You remember we said have is a helping verb, be is a helping verb, and it is finite. Okay, so it changes according to person, number, and tense. For example, he is coming, and they are coming. You notice the helping verb to be changes according to person and number. So he is coming and they are coming. Is and are changed because of number, and this is why we call it finite, because it changed according to person and number. He was waiting, they were waiting. This also changes depending on number, he and they. And if you compare the first one and the third one, he is coming and he was waiting, is and was changes according to tense. Okay, so he is coming is an example of the present progressive, and so is they are coming, also present progressive. He was waiting is an example of the past progressive, and so is the fourth example, they were waiting, also an example of the past progressive. Okay, so again type 3 is the progressive aspect. Next we have type 4, which is be plus the past participle. So this type gives us the passive. Okay, and you might be familiar with the passive from your previous studies. The passive is one of the forms of voice in English. Okay, so voice can either be passive or active. So we have a passive voice and we have active voice. So the verb is active in this example. Ahmed broke the window. Broke, the verb here is active, so we have active voice in this sentence. Compared with this next example, the window was broken, so the verb in this case is passive. Okay, so the window was broken, this is the passive voice. What we did here is take the object and put it in the place of the subject. Okay, so Ahmed broke the window is the object in the first sentence. The object became or becomes the subject in the next sentence. So we start with the window and then was broken. So we form the passive by using type 4 of the verbal groups, which is be plus the past participle. Verb to be plus the past participle. In this case, verb to be is was. Okay, so the window was broken. Was, verb to be, and then broken, the past participle of break. Okay, break, broke, broken. Broken is the past participle. So we have verb to be and the past participle, and they form the passive voice. Okay, so type 1 is for the modal auxiliaries. Type 2 is for the perfect aspect. Type 3 is for the progressive aspect, and then type 4 is for the passive. Okay, verb to be plus participle. The passive voice is formed through this type. Let's do the exercise. Decide whether the type of the verbal group in each sentence is A, type 1, modal plus infinitive. Type 2, have plus past participle, as we said, perfect, the perfect aspect. C, type 3, be plus the present participle, which is the progressive aspect. And D, type 4, be plus the past participle, which is passive, the passive voice. Okay, number 1, the machine was fixed. Okay, the verbal group here was fixed, and we have verb to be plus the past participle, fixed. So this is an example of a passive. Okay, we have the passive voice in this sentence, so the correct choice is D. Okay, it is type 4, verb to be plus the past participle. Was, verb to be, and then fixed, past participle. Number 2, he can fix any machine. Okay, so we have can, which is a modal auxiliary, and then fix, which is an infinitive, a bare infinitive. It looks like the base form or the simple form of the verb. So can fix is an example of type 1. So the correct answer for number 2 is A. 3, he is fixing the machine. Is fixing, you have verb to be plus the present participle, fix plus ing, and in this case we have the progressive, and so we have type type 3, so the correct answer here is C, be plus the present participle, type 3. Number 4, he has fixed the machine. He has fixed the machine. We have has, which is the singular form of have, the present singular form of have. So has plus the past participle, fixed, the past participle form of the verb fix. So has plus fixed, which is have plus the past participle. This is the what we call type 2. Okay, so type 2, have plus the past participle in this sentence, has, because it is in the present and it is singular, and fixed, the past participle of the verb fix. Okay, so the correct answer for 4 is B. Okay, now we move on to discuss type 2, the final type of verbal groups, type 2, which is do plus the infinitive. So in this type, the helping verb do is called an operator. Okay, so we call it an operator, and there is a reason for this name. So we call it an operator because it helps in a number of operations that we perform on the verb phrase. So we have a number of operations that we can perform on the verb phrase using an operator. So an operator helps us to do these different operations. I will give you 3 operations, but there are more. Okay, so there are more operations that we can do with operators. In this course, I will just limit our discussion to 3 operations. So some of these operations are: operation 1, the negative. So to make the negative, we need an operator, and we put not immediately after it. Okay, so to form the negative, we put not immediately after the operator. So in this case, do is an operator. We have 2 examples. He does not want it. Okay, so we have does, which is the present singular form of do, or third person, of course, third person, singular and present, does, and then not after it. Okay, so to form the negative, this operation, we call, to negate a sentence, we add not after the operator do. In this case, does, and then we have not after it. They did not come. Okay, we have did, which is the past form of do, and then not after it. Okay, so did is an operator here, and then we have not after it to form the negative, to do this operation, making the negative. Okay, the next operation is making the interrogative. Okay, remember when we mentioned sentence type, we said the second type is the question, and we also call it interrogative. Okay, interrogative, from interrogation, when you try to get information. Okay, so interrogative, the interrogative is formed by placing the operator before. Okay, so in the negative, we put not after the operator. Here, to form the question, we take the operator and we put it before the subject. Okay, so this is another operation that we need the operator for. So we use the operator to form the question. So we take it and we put it before the subject, and we leave the rest of the sentence unchanged. So, for example, they come here. Okay, they come here. To form the question, we need an operator. And in this case, come, the operator is do. Okay, so we say, do they come here? We just put the operator at the beginning, and the rest of the sentence is unchanged. We don't change anything. You don't have to make the verb into the past form or the continuous form. We don't change it. We just put the rest of the sentence as is without changing. So do they come home or do they come here is an interrogative. Okay, and we form this operation thanks to the operator do. Okay, the third type of operations is the tag question. So to form the tag question, we need an operator. So if we have the sentence, he did his homework, and we want to add the tag question at the end, we need the operator for did. He did his homework, didn't he? Okay, didn't he? So didn't he do his homework? So you want to ask if he did his homework or not. And the answer to this question can be either yes or no. So he did his homework, didn't he? Usually the answer would be yes, he did. Okay? He did his homework, didn't he? Yes, he did. So didn't he did in this case is the operator. They don't come here, do they? Okay? They don't come here, do they? Do is the operator in this case. And we used it to form the operation of tag question. Okay? So these are the three types of operations that we use operators to do. Okay? So making the negative, forming questions, and tag questions. Okay? Now we will move on to discuss more operators. So we took one of the operators, which is do, does, and did, which is part of type 5 of verbal groups. There are also other operators. So in addition to do, does, and did, operators also include, 1, the modal auxiliaries, can, could, may, might, etc. For example, operation 1, he could not come. Okay, we added not after could to form the negative. Operation 2, could he come? We put the operator could at the beginning of the sentence to form the question. Okay. Operation 3, he couldn't come, could he? Okay, we use the operator could to form a tag question. Okay, so the modal auxiliaries also function as operators. The second type of operators is have, has, and had. Okay, so have, has, and had can function as operators, and we can use them as helping verbs or main verbs. Okay, when we use them as operators. But when we use them as main verbs, this is a special case found in British English. So have, has, had more frequently used as operators when they function as helping verbs. There are certain cases in British English where we can use them as operators when they are main verbs. We will see some examples here. So the following are examples of have as a helping verb operator. So helping verb operator. The first operation, they have not come yet. So we have a main verb come, and have is a helping verb, and we form the negative by adding not after the operator have. Operation 2, have they come already? The operator is now at the beginning of the sentence to form a question. Okay, so have they come? Have is a helping verb here. Okay, come is the main verb. Operation 3, they haven't come yet. Have they? Come is the main verb. Have is a helping verb, and it is used to form the a tag question in this case. So operation 3, forming the tag question with the verb, the helping verb have. We mentioned that there is certain cases where have can be used as a main verb operator. Okay, and this case is found in British English. So for example, operation 2, have you any money? So in British English, have means possess, possession. Do you possess money? Okay, so I have money, and have you any money? In British English, we can take have, put it at the beginning of the sentence to form operation 2, the question. So in British English, have you any money? Have is a main verb. Compared with this sentence, do you have any money? Okay, so usually in American English, you say do. Do you have any money? You use another operator, which is do, as a helping verb. In this case, you don't use the main verb have. So when have is a main verb, you can use it as an operator to form questions, but only in British English. Okay, it's usually found in British English. Usually we use another operator, which is do, as a helping verb. Okay, so do you have any money? Have in this sentence is the main verb, and we don't use it as an operator to form a question. Okay, in American English, but it is possible in British English. Also we have am, is, are, was, and where. They can be used as operators. So they can be used as either main verbs or auxiliary verbs. Okay, so there is no limit here. As we said, British, American English, no. We can use am, is, are, was, were as operators, whether they are main verbs or helping verbs, auxiliary verbs. Okay, so the following are examples of is as a main verb operator. So in each of these cases, the verb to be is a main verb. Okay, so operation 1, the negative, he is not here. He is not here. Is a main verb, and it is also an operator because we added not after it. Okay, we needed to make the operation of making the negative. Is he here? We took the main verb and we used it at the beginning of the sentence. We don't have any other verb here, so it is the main verb. Is he here? Okay, so is he here? Of course, this is a question. We need a question mark at the end. There is a mistake. No full stop at the end. Question mark. Correct it. So is he here? Question mark. Okay. He is here, isn't he? The third operation, he is here, isn't he? Is an operator. In this case, it is the main verb as well. Okay. So am, is, are, was, were can and where can be used as operators when they are main verbs. Also, we can use them as operators when they are helping verbs. Okay, when we call them helping verb operators. So operation 1, he is not coming, is, and then we have not after it, and we have a main verb coming. Okay, so coming is the main verb, is the helping verb, and it is the operator here because we added not after it to form the negative. Operation 2, is he coming? Okay, coming is the main verb, is the helping verb. We used it at the beginning of the sentence to form the question. So is the operator here, and it is a helping verb. Operation 3, he is not coming, is he? So is forms the tag question. So it is an operator here, and it is a helping verb. Okay, so coming is the main verb, is used as the helping verb. Okay, so is he coming? Is he coming? He is not coming. Is he coming? Yes or no. So is an operator in this case. Let's look at this exercise. Decide whether the underlined verb is A, a main verb operator, B, a helping verb operator, and C, not an operator. Okay, so if it's not an operator, you choose C. If it is a main verb that is used as an operator, you choose A. If it is a helping verb used as an operator, you use B. Number 1, they do not come here often. They do not come here often. Do here is a helping verb because we have the main verb come. Okay, and we used not after it, so do is an operator and it is a helping verb, so the correct answer for number 1 is B. Okay, so do in this case is a helping verb operator. Number 2, I have not seen this movie yet. I have not seen this movie yet. We have a main verb, seen, we have the helping verb have, and then we have not after it, so it is an operator. We form the negative, which is one of the operations that we mentioned. So I have not seen this movie. Have is an operator and it is a helping verb, so the correct answer is B as well. Okay, so have is a helping verb operator. Number 3, do you have a copy of the movie? Okay, question mark again at the end. Okay, so another mistake. Do you have a copy of the movie? Question mark instead of the full stop. Correct it, please. So do you have a copy of the movie? Have is the main verb here. Okay, did we use it to form the question? No, we didn't. We used the helping verb do. Alright, so do is the helping verb and we used it at the beginning of the sentence to form the question. Have is the main verb and it is not used as an operator. Okay, so we didn't use it to form negative or questions or tag questions. So in this case, it is not an operator. So number 3, the correct answer is C. Okay, and don't forget to correct the mistake. Okay, question mark at the end of the sentence, because it is a question. Number 4, he is not here. He is not here. So here we have the verb is. There is no other verb in this sentence, so it is the main verb, and we form the negative by adding not after is. So is an operator here, and it is a main verb. Okay, so in this case, number 4, the correct answer is A. Is a main verb operator. Number 5, he isn't going. Is he? Okay, so here we have two verbs. We have going, which is the main verb, and we have is, which functions as a helping verb, and the tag question is formed using the helping verb. So he isn't going. Is he going? You're asking, is he going or not? So you're asking a yes/no question using the operator is, and in this case it is a helping verb operator. So in number 5, the correct answer is B. Okay, is in this case is a helping verb operator. So this is the end of this lecture. Hopefully you found it interesting and useful, and inshallah we will continue our discussion in the coming lecture. Thank you for listening.